It is actually a rule by government that on a townhouse or on a villa, specifically speaking about townhouses, a developer cannot charge more than 5 dirhams.
Having a lagoon right beside your house is something of a dream for a lot of people.
I agree.
And having those 3.5 dirham per square feet charges for that lagoon is a steal deal.
We observed basically a trend which showed that people are more inclined towards renting a 4 or 5 bedroom townhouse rather than a 3 bedroom.
At one point in time, we used to see that the standard was 3 bedroom, and some of the developers even moved towards the condo style of a 2 bedroom. And a 4 bedroom was supposed to be a luxury product. Talk about price point.
Drum roll. Hi everyone, welcome back on Brick Buzz. You are seeing a new face as a host today. The reason is because we had a very successful podcast last week. It encouraged a lot of real estate brokers, a lot of clients, investors, as well as some business partners to have maybe further a few more episodes where we could dig a little bit deeper into projects this time. So here I am again, Rida from Damac. Today we will be discussing about the blockbuster launch of Damac, which is going to close this year with a huge bang. And let's start this today. Over to you, Mr. Asim.
Thank you very much, Rida, for that enlightening introduction.
You're welcome.
I think we will be very soon replacing me with Rida.
That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Rida, diving right into the subject because we have had introductions and everything before.
Yes.
So this time we wanted to dissect and go into the depth of what the Mac is coming and what's the thought process, what is the philosophy behind it. The whole team had an amazing time visiting the different projects, coming to an understanding of which direction Damac is taking and what contribution Damac has been making and is going to further make in terms of Dubai real estate and shaping the future of Dubai.
All right.
So, what is your concept in Damac for affordable luxury? The reason I'm asking you this question is because there was a report in the newspaper this morning that 2 out of 5 properties that are being sold in Damac or in Dubai in general right now are more towards the affordability sector. The quality of construction in Damac has significantly enhanced.
Yeah.
The improvement, and it's a continual improvement process that we see every time we visit the Mac project. We see a marked significant change in the approach towards the customer-centric way that you are dealing, and then the product itself has been enhanced to a great degree. So how do you in Damac see affordable luxury?
So thank you for that background. Damac has been one of those developers which keeps coming up with products right after one another, making a name in the market as investors developer. You would notice, you would have observed it yourself as well over the years, that wherever in the map of Dubai we launch a project, be it one of the poshest locations, maybe the Sea Belt or somewhere in Dubai land, wherever it is launching a new product, it is always going to be 10 to 15% lesser than the average market price. The reason behind it is the mastermind of Mr. Sajwani, who did strategically bought a good amount of pieces of land exactly when Dubai became freehold. So he knew there was the opportunity, he took a stab at it, and that's why in today's time we are positioned in a way that we are able to offer this kind of appreciation. Apart from that, affordable luxury that you talked about, having this edge with us of being strategically located all over Dubai, we understood the market, we understood the vision of Dubai, and we understood how the real estate, along with the vision of Dubai, is significantly changing. Dubai, previously being known as a concrete jungle, whenever we talk about Dubai, people talk about Burj Khalifa or
Huge
skyscrapers.
buildings and then all
Exactly.
that.
Now, however, the type of communities that Dubai has come up with from Damac, from other developers as well, it's almost miraculous to imagine having a water lagoon, a crystal clear lagoon on sand, a golf course made on sand, greenery and parks and whatnot, all on barren land. This is the kind of infrastructure and developers we are working with. And then again, the developers who are making things possible for all pocket sizes is actually one developer, which is Damac. You would see in our portfolio, we have properties starting from 500K going up to 90 million. We understood the vision of Dubai. They want to increase population. We talked about this, 7.8 million. We understood real estate is moving towards more horizontal living, which is more communities and townhouses and villas, which is why we came up with communities, which is why we came up with more townhouses and villas. And within those communities, we gave them 5-star amenities. We gave them lagoons, golf courses, greenery. It's so huge, those communities are so big that it caters all kinds of buyers, it caters all kinds of investors, end users looking for capital appreciation,
end users
everything.
have significantly increased in demand.
Yes.
One thing that I would like to highlight here is that over a period of time, we have moved from you used to have individual buildings, and then there was a time then you had master communities, and now is the time for micro cities. There are 13,700 micro cities across the globe, and Damac is one of the pioneers in making a micro city called Damac Hills.
Yes.
So now Damac Hills too. So Dubai land is pretty much your playground.
It is. It truly is.
And now you're venturing again in Dubai land
Yes. Very
In-
excited for it.
in another significant project.
Yes.
Why Dubai land?
We have talked about the urban master plan of Dubai 2040. We have seen the significant change in real estate from 2019 onwards. Damac understood that the demand is still more than the supply of townhouses and villas.
That we have established.
Yeah.
So specifically, why Dubai land?
Dubai land is the only patch remaining of Dubai which has the potential to make money for you. The rest of the entire belt that you see on top, close to the sea, is already saturated. It's already full. It's already appreciated. Anything, even a newer project, if let's suppose if there is any plot left, anything comes there, it won't be able to make you that much of money. However, Dubai land holds that potential where your investor could actually make money. Additionally, the new initiatives that Dubai, the government itself is planning, majority of them are focused towards Dubai land. The new financial hub you talk about, the new heritage initiatives you talk about, the green plans that they're working on, everything is all planned for Dubai land. So we understood how the real estate as well as with these initiatives will go hand in hand, and we just took a stab at that entire location, making sure we have a good brand name established over there.
So from golf courses, you move to the water living,
Mediterranean.
That
Lifestyle,
was
yeah.
done when you launched the last project.
Yes. So Damac Hills was totally green focused.
So you have golf courses, you have those amenities that
Yeah.
attract that kind of clientele,
Yeah.
and then you have open living breathing spaces.
Yes.
Living breathing spaces that are very attractive to a lot of people who are looking for not to just live in a concrete jungle, but to live in a place which has much more to offer
Correct.
in terms of lifestyle. Damac Hills too, again, was designed around the same concept of open living and golf courses. Then you guys switched towards a new style of living, which is now
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
Yeah.
So why specifically Mediterranean living?
So we kept seeing there's the tourism trend in around the world, and Europe has been ranking on top for I don't know how many years. And the people, the majority of the people that love visiting those cities, those areas, is the water, is the sandy beaches, it's the nice weather, it's the blue and white houses, Santorini, all of those things, all of that concept. We wanted to bring it to Dubai, and we wanted to execute it, and we wanted to tell people you don't need to book tickets to go to Europe. Invest here, enjoy the same within your own piece of land, on your own piece of land. So that was the concept behind it, and it was a huge success story for Dubai, entire Dubai real estate market. So we have introduced Mediterranean lifestyle. By the way,
That was Damac Lagoons.
Yes.
You're talking about Damac
Damac
Lagoons.
Lagoons. The first water-based community of Dubai. Usually you would see lagoons which are only facing a few high-end villas in some communities. However, Lagoons is the only community which has a water vane in almost all of its clusters. So that made it Dubai's first water-based community.
I would debate you on that, but that's
Okay.
for another day. That's for another
Sure,
day. We
sure.
have more developers
I'll
that
take it.
have balance. Yeah.
I'll take
but,
it.
But so a lot of people at that time missed out because there was a
Yes.
limited inventory.
Yes.
I mean, when you design a community which is based around lagoons, you cannot have n number of townhouses and villas, and definitely there's a lot of infrastructure and there's a lot of development work that is required that goes in. So the community will have some certain boundaries and will have a specified number of townhouses and villas.
Correct.
So all those people that missed out on that,
We have
what is
something
what
for
is
them.
something for them? Let's
That
talk
is-
about that.
Okay. At the end of our last podcast, I left with a small surprise, which now we can talk about it. Damac is coming up with their 6th master community, known as Damac Islands, which will be launched in November. And this is the kind of community for all of those investors, for all of those agents who missed out on lagoons, who missed out on the opportunity of investing in the first phase of a bigger scale community, who missed out on having a townhouse or a villa with scenic views, with a community lifestyle. Sorry.
Sorry.
No problem. So Damac Islands is going to be one of those communities which would ensure ROIs, which could give you the lifestyle of living on an island, a lot of greenery, a lot of water, a lot of beaches, white sands, clubhouses, and whatnot. So this is the blockbuster launch that we are going to be launching end of this year, closing the year up with a huge bang. And this is why we are here today, because I want each one of you guys to make sure that you take full potential of, you make use of this community and capitalize on this opportunity.
So how sustainable do you think these lagoons would be in down the line, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years down the line?
So
I'm talking about, you see, from the perspective of people who would consider this, who would, for example, they're end users.
okay,
They would say, Asim, I would like to go there. I would like to live there. I would like to take a mortgage, live there for the next 7 to 10 years at least.
okay.
So how do you see these communities not only developing and taking shape, but retaining its integrity?
Any of these amenities that we come up with within any community or a tower, if you say, all of them are approved by certain authorities in terms of their longevity, to see how long this is going to sustain and what measures should be taken to make sure that it stays for the next 20 years, 50 years, and so on. One of the things that Damac does to manage these amenities is having their Damac Living app. This application actually allows the residents to book these amenities, whether it's the lagoon or the golf course or whatever it is, in a way that it doesn't get crowded. It is managed in a way that it doesn't overcrowd, or having that kind of staff on spot, which takes care, either it needs to be maintained, either it needs to be closed. It is also managed by on the basis of weather. There are most months where it is kept closed to make sure that it doesn't create any problems for the residents or anything like that. So there's a whole department of quality assurance which basically runs after the handover to take care of these amenities. The service charges each client pays on their property basically is what what Damac is using to take care of these things for long term. In terms of sustainability of these amenities, those are all taken care of. We have a history and we have examples of those in the existing communities. They either have become even bigger or maintained the way when these were handed over.
Golf courses, Dubai has now cracked that code.
True.
Golf courses are very much embedded in the structure that Dubai has. What about the lagoons? Because how much are the service charges, for example?
Okay.
Because golf communities, I know the service charges are 3 to 5 dirhams per square feet, right? Which is
decent.
Which is a very good amount.
Yeah, 7 to 8,000 dirhams yearly.
7 to 8,000 dirhams yearly, and that's not bad. That's, I think, very good.
It is.
It is very good. How much would be the service charges? Because that is something that is a factor for people to consider, specifically the end users, because now with the sizes that Damac is going for and the price point that Damac is promoting, that is specifically targeted to a lot of end users that want to come into the market and want to do this.
Okay. Similarly, keeping all of those factors in mind, it is actually a rule by government that on a townhouse or on a villa, specifically speaking about townhouses, a developer cannot charge more than 5 dirhams per square feet per year. For lagoons, Damac Lagoons, the townhouses that we are still selling, are being the service charges are 3.5 dirhams for them as well.
So that's an amazing deal, because for the same price that you're paying for a golf course, and most of us are not very inclined to play golf all the time because the weather permitting, it's a,
I know.
But having a lagoon right beside your house is something of a dream for a lot of people.
I agree.
And having those 3.5 dirham per square feet charges for that lagoon is a steal deal.
It is 100%.
Now, what's different in Dubai Islands? Like Damac Islands, what's different here than the previous project?
So, the differences that you will see are in terms of the master plan. In every passing launch and every next launch, you must have...
It's a version 2.0, it's a version 3.0,
Correct.
and all the lessons learned from the first
all
community
the gaps
are being implemented and adapted
Exactly.
here.
So, yes, the amenities, the clubhouses, the essentials, the things that we felt that we missed out maybe in the previous launches or communities, those are going to be abundantly filled in this community. That includes more water activities, more water veins within the community to have better views, to have more, easy access.
And sustainable water activities, because you don't allow motorboats, so you don't allow water-based those sports, because that will maintain and preserve the integrity of that lagoon.
Of course.
So a lot of people don't understand this, but refraining from using outboard engines in lagoons would actually preserve and maintain the integrity of that lagoon for a longer period of time.
Correct. The lazy river that we have in Damac Hills too, you're only allowed to take tubes inside. Similarly, for every water amenities, there are certain precautions that every user is asked to follow. Similarly, the same things are going to be applied over here. So the community, apart from its numerous
no
amenities...
jet ski is allowed in the lazy river?
No, I'm sorry.
When people are just lounging around, you don't...
No, that's not going to happen. We do have a surfing pit you could enjoy over there safely. However, there are going to be numerous amenities in this community. Damac is very big about when it comes to amenities. Either if it's a small tower, high tower, or a community, small or big, whatever, we are very big on amenities. Apart from that, the biggest thing that I want to focus on is the location of this community. We have positioned it so strategically, along with other already handed over communities, making this one so high in demand for the next at least 2 to 5 years. The reason I say that is because if you look at the map of Dubai land, specifically the belt which is being sandwiched between Sheikh Zayed bin Hamdan Road and Emirates Road, you would see the most communities of Dubai are lying there.
So you're talking about the Arabian Ranches, 1, 2, and then Mudon, and
Yes,
then Damac.
Villa. Yeah.
So in the villa community. So now this is a shift towards a site which is right at the intersection of 2 new metro stations. 3. And Ittihad Rail also.
Correct.
So that means not only for the next 3 years to 5 years, I would say at least 10 years, because if the government infrastructure is coming there,
Easily.
and you have 2 metro lines coming there,
Correct.
and you have Ittihad Rail coming there, and you have other amenities coming there,
Correct.
that is going to be right at the artery where everything is being connected.
Exactly. If you look at the map of Dubai from a bird's eye view, and if you pinpoint Damac Islands on the map, you would see it is very centrally located. Almost every location is on equal distance. If you want to go to the Business Bay, downtown Dera, or if you want to go to Dubai South, both the locations are
Equidistant.
equal distance.
Done.
Then the 3 metro lines we talked about, yellow, pink, and blue. All these 3 arteries are connecting from Dubai South, Dera, the old Dubai side, and
then
Barsha and
the-
all.
oh, yeah.
So this shows that this is going to be a huge contributor
So
for
it is
ROIs.
not just a piece of land that you acquired, it was a very thought out process.
100%.
And it was very immaculately planned that this is where you're going to have this.
Like I keep saying that we align with Dubai's vision. This is
So
another
it's a very
proof of
strategic
it. Exactly.
location, and that has a lot of thought process has gone behind acquiring and developing this.
Correct.
So when I look at the townhouses here, there has been one more shift.
Okay.
It is a move away from 3-bedroom,
Yes.
because 3-bedroom used to be the sweet spot for every developer.
Yeah.
In this specific community, you have made a switch from 3-bedroom to be the baseline
True.
to a 4-bedroom. And once you tell me the reason for this, then I'll
Okay.
go to the price point of that 4-bedroom, because that
Yes,
is
please.
another thing in its own, on its own. So let's talk about why this deviation from the standard 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom.
Okay. Damac has this very amazing team, the research team, who basically keeps tabs on all the buying and selling happening in Dubai. It includes rentals, buying, reselling, all of it. We observed basically a trend which showed that people are more inclined towards renting a 4 or 5-bedroom townhouse rather than a 3-bedroom. People are more happily going for a 4-bedroom townhouse rather than going for a 3-bedroom
The
townhouse.
families are growing now.
Families are
not
growing.
Just a stopover. It's people are putting down roots
True.
over here.
Also, people like to have additional rooms, additional spaces. 2019 taught us that we need to have an office at home. Anything could happen anytime. So people like to have those kind of spaces inside their home. That additional bedroom, apart from the 3 which are going to be used for your family, is holding quite a huge value in the market, and that's what we realized. And starting from Camellia, Verona, Natura, Violet 1, 2, 3, 4, Riverside, Sun City, and Damac Islands now, our base is 4-bedroom
4-bedroom
townhouses.
townhouse.
And the results in terms of sales has proven our point that this is what people need. And that is what we started. Let's talk about the prices now.
I totally agree that 4-bedroom townhouses were the need of the hour. At one point in time, we used to see that the standard was 3-bedroom, and some of the developers even moved towards the condo style of a 2-bedroom. And a 4-bedroom was supposed to be a luxury product. Whereas over the period of time, we've seen that the people who come here have now put down roots. And whenever I come across people, majority of them, when I ask them, how long have you been in Dubai? They said, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. So 10 years down the line, the family has grown. And most of those people have outgrown the 3-bedroom townhouse, which was supposed to be the standard cookie cutter answer. So for a developer to actually recognize that and move ahead and say, now we are going to put a community where the baseline is going to be 4-bedroom, and from you have a space from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7.
Correct.
Right? And 7 bedrooms for the price point that we're going to discuss later on is, I think, very commendable from not only the real estate perspective, but from the people's perspective, from the community perspective as well. We have to take those things into account when we talk about real estate. It's not just making a sell, but putting those foundations for rock solid communities.
Correct.
That's very important, and that has to be acknowledged, appreciated, and commended. Talk about price point.
Okay.
What's in store for us for a 4-bedroom
Drum roll.
town? Drum roll.
So, Damac Islands, the prices for 4 and 5-bedroom townhouses have been officially announced. 4-bedroom starting price will be 2.25 million.
Hold your horses here. How many of 2.25 do you actually? It always, the developers always come and say the starting price is 2.25. Can I get one? No, we had only one for 2.25, and that was sold yesterday. I'm going to ask you all those.
Of course.
The clients are actually genuinely interested, because 2.25, as you say, a starting price point for a 4-bedroom.
In the location we're talking about.
It's super.
It is. Like I mentioned, Damac has actually the lowest price per square feet for townhouses in the market. If I talk about 2.25 for a 4-bedroom townhouse, yes, the units are going to be limited. The reason is majority of these units are being prioritized for bulk buyers. The reason why I reached out to you quite early is because I want the agents to, capitalize on those opportunities. Everybody in the market now, or any single individual who has seen Damac Lagoons in the past and the story that happened, understands the value that is going to happen in Damac Islands, which is why way before, once we had an official announcement in our calendar for Q4, people knew what it is going to be. People knew that it is still going to be lesser than the average market price. There's a reason why we have 44% repeated buyers, right? So they know how Damac works.
And you're trying to build on that portfolio,
Exactly.
and you're trying to take it to 60 to 70 to 80%.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand.
Also, even the ones which are average priced will be around 2.5 to 2.7 million dirhams. Again, for a 4-bedroom townhouse in a very luxury community, gated with 3 different metro lines connecting through it, 2 major highways
and
close
lagoons.
to it.
Don't forget the lagoons. Don't forget
and
the lagoons.
islands.
And the islands. Don't forget the
So,
lagoons.
I still believe it is very fairly priced.
But tell me something.
Yes.
I'm going to put a pin on that grenade, on that thought. And Damac, it is not too far away from Damac Hills 1,
Yes.
right?
Damac
You-
Hills 2 is not far away from Damac Hills 1.
I'm talking about
Damac Islands. Yes.
It's
Okay.
not very far away from...
Same vicinity.
It's same vicinity.
Yeah.
It's Dubai land, and the road infrastructure and the network
Connects.
that is, it's not too far off.
Barely 12 to 15 minutes.
12 to 15 minutes.
Correct.
A 3-bedroom, do you think having Damac lagoons and islands here, and the price point which you are offering right now, and we see that is a serious deviation from the way the market trends are going upwards of the base price. A base price for a 3-bedroom has gone from, at one point in time, from 1.78 or 1.7 to now 3.5. Whereas you're offering something 4-bedroom for that price point, which is very attractive. How will this affect the secondary market in Damac Hills 1?
Secondary market in Damac Hills 1, it would still be competitive because there's one major point that we need to look at is Damac Islands is a huge community which is starting from the scratch next month, which
And that's
means
the phase 1. So phase 2, the
one.
prices and might go up. And there's 15-20% because of the time duration. And
Exactly. Secondary market is always going to be competitive and balanced because majority of the buyers who are roaming around in the secondary market are the ones who want something which is ready to move. So it won't as much significantly affect the market for Damac Hills 1. It still is one of the most wanted
and that's a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's a golf.
That's
living,
green
and that's
day,
established
exactly.
community.
Exactly. And people who are going there, they already know that what they're in for, what they're looking for, what price point they're going ahead for. And most of the buyers in secondary market for Damac Hills 1 is the ready to move buyers. So that entire niche, that entire target market is completely different for Damac Island. So those are not, I would say, apple to apple comparison. It is a different market which we would be looking at for Damac Islands. So it's safe. It will only going to help us appreciate that one actually. It will only going to help us. Anybody who could not afford, we tell them put your money here.
Because at the Damac Hills 1, 3 bedrooms were starting at 3.3, 3.4. Went to 3.7, 3.8.
Yeah, nothing less than 4 million right now.
Nothing less than 4 million right now. I'm saying the starting.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
started.
yeah.
And now, rather than going up, Damac has really, it's a commendable effort. If you're coming back to 4 bedroom for 2.25. And what's the top line for a 4 bedroom?
The highest, I think we are going to be marking it by 2.7, I believe.
2.7?
2.7.
And a 5 bedroom, if I may ask?
So the 5 bedroom starting prices for townhouses is going to be 3.1 million dirhams. The highest is going to be around 3.5 to 3.6 million dirhams. You would also have observed this in the past launches. Damac does not change prices on the basis of how close your townhouse is to an amenity, or if it's a single row. The only factor our prices differentiate is the size of the land we are giving you. So there are some middle units which are bigger than the rest, so there will be a price difference. So
because of the, not only for the where it is placed, but the price difference would be on the plot size.
Exactly. That also puts your client at peace when they say we did not find something for 2.2, you're giving us something for 2.5, you're giving them a bigger piece of land.
I would prefer that, because then you can have that sunken pit, you can have that outdoor cinema, you can have that pool. So all the things, that once you are planning to sell that 5 to 7 years down the line or 10 years down the line, that is actually going to be the differentiating factor between you
Yes.
and the entire row, because you
Yes.
had a bigger plot, you had that leverage of
Yes.
actually building a gazebo or building a
Pool,
or
yoga
sunken pit
stand,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you want to,
yeah.
barbecue area. So those family friendly features within that villa
Yeah.
are only possible if you have a bigger plot.
Exactly.
And at that price point that you are launching at,
Yes.
you're paying peanuts for whatever you can get at the end of the day, 10 years or 7 years down the line.
Correct.
That we have seen across the globe, and that specifically in Dubai we have seen in Meadows and all the areas, Emirates Living, which is right on Sheikh Zayed, and the bigger plots, even when reconstructed and those villas were resold, we saw that huge difference in the price and the time in which the deal was actually materialized.
Executed, yeah.
Because that transpired that yes, this is sort of a USP that specific
Adds
property
to it.
has.
Correct.
So people who are looking, and if you don't find something for 2.25, I would advise it's a blessing in disguise. And if you have the financial muscle from moving from 2.25 to 2.5 or 2.6, is actually going to be very beneficial down the line.
Correct. 100%. 100%.
Let's talk about the payment plan. What specific payment plans are you coming up this time?
So for payment plans and the prices for the standalone villas, we do not have any official news on it yet. However, you have
Tell us
seen,
the inside scoop.
I will once I receive it. But as you have seen in our previous launches, you have seen that Damac keeps on adapting with new trends, with flexible trends. One of them is the 1% payment plan. We do not have official news on it yet. Once it is there, I will definitely share it with you for the prices for the standalone villas as well as for the payment plan. However, I would really like to mention something else. Each launch, like you mentioned, like I've mentioned a million times now, that we keep improving, we keep coming up with something better. What I've noticed is that we have managed the ratio of corner units and middle units. Usually corner units are always very limited. A lot of deals gets backed out. Clients just give up.
They want a corner unit.
They want a corner unit. They want a bigger plot. They want privacy and all of that. Now, what I've been seeing from the past few launches, if we have 700 units, at least 300, 350 will be corner units. So we are managing that ratio so that everybody gets a piece of that cake.
So you're making smaller
rows.
Smaller rows.
Multiple rows, but smaller rows so that you have more end units. Secondly, if you have noticed the master plan of Sun City recently launched, you would have noticed that 70% of the community is single row. So we are also eradicating or reducing the number of back-to-back units. The ones that we have for back-to-back, we have introduced a new concept, which is called Sikka. So we have a setback of 1.2 meters, but there will be an additional land parcel, small land parcel, which is known as Sikka. Sikka basically is a depiction of word saying garden. Or a small green patch. So that is an additional added benefit
buffer.
In those.
That's
exactly.
the buffer between the two villas.
To further maintain the privacy of those back-to-back villas, although it's the previously launched or delivered, handed over back-to-back units, we haven't come across any complaints where for privacy issues, let's suppose, that there hasn't been any.
But the layouts are like, how are the layouts?
Layouts? Oh, amazing.
No, but for with Sikka, what I wanted to say actually was that the layouts, when you talk about the layouts and you see that piece of land that you have at the back, for a 4-bedroom middle unit, I don't think privacy has been an issue.
No.
With the Mac, I've seen the offset as well.
Yes.
Even within the rows, I've seen an offset.
Yes, the small streets.
The small streets and the offset that you already have in place, adding that Sikka to it is actually going to
cherry on the top.
Yeah, cherry on the top, and that's going to mitigate the issue of your privacy and everything.
You see, we deal with all kinds of clients, right? With all kinds of mindset. When we talk about back-to-back unit, they just hesitate to even discuss that conversation. So these are the things that we are putting forward for our agents to have better conversations, to have more productive meetings, and eventually have more closings than the previous launches.
How important do you think is it for the agencies that you're dealing with to actually sit across with you and have an in-depth conversation about all these things and to actually get to know the project and to understand the project and then have the depth of knowledge to actually go back to the client and explain it in greater details?
I think it's as crucial as having a backbone in your body. I say this because, now we have crazy number of agents in Dubai right now. Every other person is a real estate agent these days. It's a good thing as well as not really a good thing. The reason is because there's no barrier to entry to become a real estate agent. You could be a chef, you could be an engineer, you could be anyone, and you could now become a real estate agent. Which is why
mounting the engineers, because you're sitting across one.
I'm proud of that.
I'm also very proud of that. That gives me a much better understanding of the layouts.
It gives you an edge. It gives you an edge. So it is a plus point. I told you it has its pros to it. But for the cons, we have developed two separate teams in Damac, sales and business development, which are dedicatedly working with agencies to train them, not only on projects. We train them how to sell those projects. We train them how to build a skill set to be a real estate agent in the market. We train them how to do your homework in the market, what you need to know, the comparisons, what would be the objections you would be having for this specific product. Most of the agents are not doing that. As soon as they receive an update on their WhatsApp, they just start blasting
they run away
it.
with it, and they just say the price point. That's not where the strength of that lies, because
know.
people are not just looking at the price they're going to pay for that.
True.
There is a value proposition to it, and now I see Damac putting a lot of effort in building that value proposition. And I think price is what you're going to pay for it, and value is what you're going to receive.
True.
And that value proposition for projects like this, to understand, to perceive, and to communicate effectively to the client, is of very high importance.
I agree.
It's very pertinent that we at our end take that baton from the developer as real estate organizations.
Please.
And then factor it back in.
Yes, you must have observed in our every training or every project information or a session that you have taken, 70% of the presentation is about the market, is about the competitors, is about the surroundings of that project.
How do you make it a more viable option to take it to the people, and then people would say, yes, that is required. That is
true.
With that, let's talk about the 5 bedrooms and the 6 bedrooms and the 7 bedrooms which you do not have it. If you guys want, I will close this before she again takes over, and then there's a lot of hostile takeovers of this brick buzz. I would not let Rida do that once more. But no. Rida, thank you so very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you for this opportunity once again.
I think the clarity that we get from the discussions that we're having with you, the kind of resolve that I see in Damac, every aspect of the team, and the kind of vision that with which Damac is growing, and it needs to be communicated to a wider audience. And thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
For all the insights that you shared, and you did not spill much beans, which we'll expect in the next episode.
Of course.
Guys, if you like to know more about this project and the future course of action in Dubai real estate, and what impact Damac is playing, or the other developers are coming with new and exciting options, please reach out to us. Please let us know what would you like to know. And with that, thank you once more, Rida.
You're most welcome.
And that's all for today on the Break Buzz. Thank you.